Hey, what's up? I'm back, everybody. Oh man, I was just thinking about this stuff again. Folks, you can't lose to win. I mean, this is the craziest idea that was ever put out there. You cut your losses short, let your profits run. I mean, if you think about it. I mean, that statement is the most ridiculous statement and probably the most harmful thing that has ever been taught to people when it comes to how to achieve success trading in the markets. Cut your losses short, let your profit run. Because embedded in that statement is the assumption that you know if you cut your loss short, it would have gone on to become a bigger loss. And by the same token, embedded in that statement is the assumption that you know your profits are going to continue to run. When, in fact, all of you, I'm sure, if you've had any, experience in trading, you know that sometimes you let your profit run and what happens? The profit goes to a loss. Or sometimes you cut your loss and what happens? The loss would have become a profit if you left it alone. So what I say to people, especially beginners and even people with experience who come to me, I say, look, the best situation you can get into as a training practice is to be in a position where you have a profit and it turns to a loss. Now, for most people, that would cause them so much anguish and frustration and disappointment. When in reality, the way to look at that is a beautiful thing. That is a fantastic opportunity, number one, to learn how to manage your emotions, learn from the perspective of gaining understanding that can sometimes happen. In fact, it happens very frequently. If you've been trading a long time, you know that it happens very frequently. And also as a means to build up your resilience. So like a lot of times people say to me, well, Mike, I have a problem like holding on to my profits. I take my profits too quickly. The only way to train yourself so that you don't behave in that way, so that you stay in a position longer so as to realize the maximum potential of that trade, is to also understand that in the life of that trade, in the duration of that trade or that investment, there is going to be volatility, there is going to be fluctuation. And if the premise for that trade was some kind of macroeconomic fundamental view, which is, the way I approach the markets, and I think which is the smartest way to approach the market, then you have to understand that within that macro view, there's going to be volatility. The market's going to be affected by the way other people behave. I think I said something in my last video that, and I have been saying that this is like high level, like being a high level professional, high level athlete. Your competition is not against the market. The market is not, a person. The market is not a living thing. The market is your vehicle. But the market is made up of other participants, other actors. Now your competition is against them. And when you understand that most people lose and most people do what everybody else does because either they think that's going to make them money or they feel comfortable in doing what other people do for many reasons. I mean, number one, if you're wrong, you could say, hey, everybody else was doing it. How can you blame me, right? I think that is very pervasive on Wall Street, in the professional levels of Wall Street, that all these traders, they do exactly the same thing. And then they could, if you look at what happened in the financial crash, 2007 to 2009, when they were all piling into these vehicles and then everything blew up, like basically nobody got in trouble when they all should have, the whole thing should have been closed down because everyone said, hey, look, You know, everyone said it was the right thing to do. We all did the same thing. So that's your opponent. That's who you're trading against. So when you understand that the behavior there is mass psychology, it's sheep-like, it should be very easy. And it is very easy to take advantage of that. And I say it all the time, but it also requires that you have the right behavior. So first of all, you can't lose and become a success. This idea that, hey, I'm going to take losses and that's going to make me successful, that's going to make me rich, that's going to make me wealthy, that's going to bring profit. That's just a joke, man. That is ridiculous. That is a joke. And in my last video, I used the example of somebody who's a business owner, which I am. You know, there's going to be times in every business, I don't care how big of a business you are, that you might have a cash crunch. You might be in a tight situation financially. You're going to have to tap into capital. You're going to access capital. Now that might mean putting more money in your account to protect a position. It doesn't mean cut and run. Time is on your side. We all have a lot more. I mean, unless you're 90 years old. Look, I'm freaking 62 years old. And I'm saying I got way more time. You know, we all have more time than money. Even though our time here on this earth is finite, believe me. Even Jeff Bezos has more time than money. I mean, he can lose his whole freaking, whatever it is, 150 billion fortune. He's got time to make that back. So yeah, you can't lose to win. You can't lose to profit. Whoever put that idea out there and why that idea ever became some kind of embraced wisdom, that is not wisdom. That's ridiculous. Losing is bad. There is nothing good about losing. You have to overcome in situations where things are against you or difficult or frustrating or boring. A lot of you won't stay with something because it's boring, and then that speaks to a different motivation as to why you're in there. You're looking for action. You may not admit that to yourself. You may not even understand that, but you're not in it for money. You're looking for action. If you're in it for money, you do what is necessary to make money. And that means you stick with something until it makes you money. And if it was the wrong decision, you figure a way out of it. And the way out of it is not to lose. The way out of it is to win. Every situation is a winnable situation. The only common denominator in all of these situations is time. Whether you are prepared to pay the time or you just say, I don't want to pay the time. And people who don't want to pay the time, all right, are people who overvalue themselves, saying, I'm too important to pay that time. Which is kind of ironic because in the end, they force a loss upon themselves. And that loss comes from an internal belief that they're too, think about this, that comes from a belief that they're too important to have to wait around. So they'd rather cause themselves to lose. Now, is that a way to make yourself feel important? I mean, that's a crazy, twisted psychology there, if you ask me. But that's what people do. And they will rationalize that, I mean, to the very end. I'm sure I'm going to have people here posting up comments like, you know, you're wrong, take losses, and people are going to rationalize it. And by the way, if you do post up comments like that, or if you have that feeling, if that's striking you, like my words, what I'm saying here, this guy's ridiculous, he's a joke, he's an idiot, that's because I hit a nerve. And you know what I'm saying is true, but you do not want to accept it. You want to go on with this belief that A, there's either some magical system out there, right, the system fairy, or B, you're just too important to have to wait around Those profits need to come to you like boom, like tomorrow, man, like in the next 5 minutes or in the next week. And with regularity like that, like clockwork. I mean, the markets are mostly random in the short term. And by the short term, I don't mean the next 5 minutes. Yeah, they're really random in the next 5 minutes. They could be random in the next 6 months. Only over a period of time do the true forces that drive, economics show themselves. I mean, they're this is like, man, this is like the movement of tectonic plates. You don't see that happening, but they're moving, all right? If you don't know what tectonic plates are, go look it up in Google. Anyway, I just felt like I had to make that video, folks. Look, I want to help everybody out. I really want to help everybody out. That's why I'm making these videos. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. It's all up here. It's all up here. I could take any system, I could throw darts at a dartboard and make money. You can't until you get it up here.